Ever planned a project so tightly that it only takes one loose bolt or, in this case, a missing jack to send everything spinning out of control? Welcome to Retail Merchandising. Stories from the Dark Side. I'm your host, VP Merchandiser, and this is Episode 1. Stranded, Stoned, and Definitely Not Working. If you think retail is all about barcodes and planograms, buckle up. Today, I'll walk you through a tale where logistics becomes survival, and staffing is more like herding cats than managing people. We'll break down resource allocation, think chess with missing pieces and crisis escalation, which in retail feels like playing whack-a-mole with live grenades. The stakes? A crew running on fumes, a project teetering on the brink, and every twist proving that no matter how tightly you plan, chaos always finds the cracks. So, let's unpack what really happens when the best-laid plans meet the real world. Why do even the simplest logistics spiral into drama? What would you do if your team decided their tire needed emotional support more than the job needed bodies on the floor? Let's dive in. And I promise, you won't see this ending coming. Now, let me paint the setup. We're already running light, a skeleton crew stretched so thin, if one person sneezed, the whole schedule would collapse. Enter resource allocation. In retail, that's like trying to build a house with a handful of nails and a prayer. So what do? You pull in help from wherever you can. In my case, 3 guys willing to drive 14 hours just to make the roster. Sounds desperate? It was. But sometimes, you play the hand you're dealt, and right before they're due to arrive, the phone rings flat tire, no jack, no lug wrench. Now you might be thinking, how do you take a road trip without basic tools? Exactly. It's the classic Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and usually right before your shift starts. This is where contingency planning comes in, a term that sounds fancy but just means having backup plans for your backup plans. Problem is, you can't plan for the unpredictable hearts and habits of people. So, we're stuck. Short-staffed, out of options, and officially at the mercy of fate and flat tires. Here's where Kenya, our on-site supervisor, steps into the spotlight. In retail, the term field leadership gets thrown around a lot, but Kenya lives it always the first to help, even when it's wildly inconvenient. She sighs because of course she does, but she grabs her own tools and heads out to save the day. It's like watching someone try to bail out a sinking ship with a coffee mug. Leadership under fire? Anyone? The conflict ramps up. They try to fix the tire, but the lugs are fused tighter than a store's budget right before inventory. Ever tried to budge a bolt that won't give? It's like arguing with a brick wall, satisfying for the wall, less so for you. Now, here's where it turns. Kenya offers them a ride to the site problem. Solving, teamwork, all that good stuff. And they say no. We want to stay with the car. Let me tell you, in all my years, I've heard every excuse in the book, but I can't leave my immobilized tire alone takes the cake. Sometimes, the biggest roadblock isn't a broken car, it's the people behind the wheel. So, Kenya drives back. The job limps along. Hours drag by. And then, just when you think it can't get more chaotic, the phone rings again. They've changed their minds. Now, suddenly, a ride to the site sounds good. Now you might wonder, what changed? Was it hunger, boredom, or maybe a sudden flash of responsibility? Spoiler. It wasn't professionalism. Kenya, ever patient, heads back. But when she arrives, the scene's shifted from inconvenience to outright crisis. All 3 guys, out of the car, blatantly smoking weed in a state where that's very much still illegal. And as if the universe were tuning in for the punchline, police are already on the scene. Here's where risk management comes in, folks. Usually, it means preventing shrinkage or avoiding trip hazards, not watching your labor pool get arrested for possession. The officers search the car, and because fate wasn't done, a handgun turns up. In merchandising, you prepare for resets and shipments, but nobody writes a protocol for crew gets arrested before clocking in. The day's over for them, no work, no paycheck, no second chances. Let's step back. There's a term in logistics called variance, the mathematical way of saying expect the unexpected. In retail, that variance isn't about items or hours. It's about people. You can plan resets down to the shelf, time shipments to the minute, choreograph labor like a Broadway show. But then, someone forgets a jack, refuses a ride, or just your luck brings weed and a firearm to your job site. Now, some of you are probably thinking, that's just bad luck. Sure, but luck is just the universe's way of testing your systems and your patience. The emotional roller coaster? That's the real cost of doing business in this world. You can calculate margins, but you can't quantify chaos. So, if you're ever tempted to think you've seen it all in retail, remember, the human factor always throws the wildest curveballs. So what's your concrete action step? Next time you staff a project, double-check your backup plans. And maybe, just maybe, make sure your crew knows where to find a jack. You might be asking, can anything top this story? Stick around for the next episode. If you enjoyed surviving this story with me, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share your own tales from the dark side of retail. The wildest stories are always yet to come. Until next time, I'm VP Merchandiser, reminding you that in retail, you can plan for resets and shipments, but you'll never outplan people.